What's up, everybody? I'm out here in the yard today, trying to do a little work on the kayak. Only got a few hours before the big game, as they say, and it's cold, but I'm going to give it a shot today, see if I can get something mounted, or at least started. I'm redoing the whole back end. I'll show you guys that, but I'm not happy with the way this is. It was a good try, but it ain't gonna work. It's just not what I want to do, and I've seen some things online that I've watched, and I'll try to link those if I can go back and find those of how I did the ones I watched and ideas I got. So let's get this started. First things first, gotta take the old one off. That old, where I just did all the wood and the little clamps and the aluminum, that's already off. That was modular to an extent. I could always connect it here and it'd stick out the back. You guys saw that video. If you didn't, go back and look at that video. I've also got new, this was in one of my unboxings I showed you guys. I've got some new access holes, whatever these are called, I don't know. I may put those in today if I have time, since that needs to be done anyway. I'll leave that open. Maybe that'll remind me to actually do it. Alright, so let's take this off. You ever put something together and you don't remember how you did it? Yeah, well, that's where I am right now. See if I can remember how to do this. Got a board underneath, up under here. Inside, that is connected, but it's not connected from the inside. Glued it. Didn't know we were doing that. All right, got that. Finally got it taken off. I'll show you a little bit close up that in a minute. And so I got to seal off these holes that are in here, and because I'm not comfortable doing any kind of plastic weld or anything like that, I've got two things. I've got flex tape. Not going to use that because I have this. This stuff is the real deal. This is what they used to wrap on the outside of houses around foundations, not footings, but foundations. I've even used it on my shed, although I need to put some other stuff over it. This stuff will stick to anything and it'll stick for a really long time. It's weatherproof. So I'm going to stick this on in just a couple of little spots where the holes are, and that should take care of this back part being waterproof. So I got 6 little holes. See if we can see this. Just need some small pieces. Make sure that these are sometimes on the edge of these where it's been exposed, it doesn't stay as sticky, but let's see what these are like. So I'm putting a piece underneath and I'm putting a piece on top just to make extra sure that it covers and it kind of makes it waterproof as possible. Okay, so I got these top and bottom. Let me show you. So there they are. I just patched this stuff, like I said, super sticky. I did underneath, did on top. Should be good to go. All right. Please excuse all the sniffles if you hear any, because I'm having a rough time right now. Anyway, here's the next plan, next part of the plan. Instead of using the old system like I had before, I wanted to rig this up, if at all possible, with a different type of board. Now, this is not one of those fancy expensive boards that they have online that a lot of guys use, and it's twice as thick probably as this. But this is just a big cutting board. That's all this is. It's the biggest one I could find at Walmart. And I'm going to see if there's a way. I may have to move my eyelets and reposition those in order to get this back far enough to mount the trolling motor on. And I don't know, because I didn't see this bump. I didn't see this bump here when I was doing it before. I may have to do some kind of weird cutout to have it set all the way back. And then I'm going to have to mount a board on top. You can see this, I think it's still in the frame. I'll have to mount a board here on top for my trolling motor to sit on top of. And I need to have enough room. Well, I don't have to have room, it just has to go, I guess, to the edge. I'll just have to screw that on first, get that connected. It doesn't have to be very long. And then connect to that, and then that'll be where that goes. And then this has to get connected in here. So I'm gonna have to move these eyelets. I think that'll have too much flex because all my pressure is going to be here, and I can even cut away part of this and have this connected through here. Take this off. So I am going to have to cut this part out because it's too much of a bump. So I've measured back to where it goes flush again, or it's basically below this spot. It's about 6 inches back, maybe a little much, but I don't want to be short on it, so I'm going to have to cut it again. 7 inches back. And I'll kind of eyeball it and see if that looks about right. No, can't eyeball it. I was hoping that these would line up with my bungee, but if I put it here and have it line up like this somehow, can't get all the way on the end. You know, it ended up being pretty far back. If I have a board here, I'm gonna have to check. I don't know. So this is my old one. I'm just gonna set it here for reference. If I put it here, which is roughly where it would go when I put a new board in on top of this, and my old, I'll use my old kayak mat. Let's see, go like this, straight. This one I took off because this was broke, so I bought a new one online. Here, that's what I'm gonna do. I think I can do it. If I use a 2x4, it should be fine. And just bump it out of here, bump it out just a little past, connect up underneath it. Trolling motor should drop right behind there. All right, now just getting it straight, that's gonna be here. Same distance and everything else. The rest will get cut away. Mark it. I tried spinning it the other way and it won't work that way. It just doesn't look right. I mean, I don't have anything to connect it to down here anyway, so we're going to use that. I'm going to open these up and figure out how to connect them, and I'll get back with you. So I cut a couple of pieces of 1/2 inch PVC. Well, no, this is 3/4 PVC. It doesn't really matter, but I cut it a 1/2 inch wide because I need a spacer in between. Might be able to see it better on this side. There's a big, there's a big divot here. I didn't want to use wood because wood, will rot. So I'm just going to set these in here, and then when I put my screws all the way through, decided to use my bolts that I took out of the other one. I've got my stainless bolts that I can use, and these are plenty long, and they go through the board and they go all the way down in, and then I can washer bolt on the other side, or washer and a nut, and this should be good to go. I've pre-caulked this just in case as I'm taking this through it, but it should be good to go. I should have caulked these spots now that I think about it, but I think it'll be okay with this on here. This is really good stuff. I had to take my handle off. I'll have to reinstall that at some point, and then like I said, I'm going to have to cut a gap out of this, which means I'm probably going to have to make my board wider to cover this here. It's not going to be that much of a gap. This goes flush at about, from this end, it goes flush at about 5.5 inches or so, so I won't have to go back too far. And if I make it at an angle just like this is, then I won't have very much coming out of the top, and I can actually just kind of, redo it from there. So it's about an 8-inch width here that'll cover that. All right, get on that. All right, so I've measured and marked. Hopefully you guys can see that where the sun's hitting, I don't know. But that'll go down here. It'll set like that. That'll get cut. And then I'll attach these here, and this will give me a nice gap. It's probably bigger than I need by a little bit. I gotta make sure it actually covers the top. Hang on. Yeah, should be good to go. I had to make sure these were angled in right. I may or may not. Well, I'll trim it going up, but I'll have to make sure that I'm at least outside of here a little, so it'll stay on this upper ridge. I'll probably have it hang over. I don't know if you can see this. I'll probably have it hang over here a little bit as it goes up, but I'm gonna cut this off first. See how it slides up in there. This stuff's like cutting styrofoam. All right, got it cut. Let's see how she fits. Go up to there. These are gonna have to spin around. I gotta get these measured exactly right. Probably cut that a little wide at the top. But once I put my board here, that'll hold this piece together where there's a small gap. Probably got a little probably a little wide there. Probably didn't have to go down as far here, but I do like the fact that it's going to be I mean, that's not in my way. And once I put my board over here, then it's going to be the same thing. The board's going to be fine. It won't bump into this. And now I just have to figure out some other spots. I can't just put two bolts in. That's not going to do it. If I just put one here and one over here, that's not going to be enough bolts. So I got to look at that and figure out where I can put 2 more bolts. I need some up here, but I didn't leave myself a lot of room. All right, let's see, figure it out. Okay, so the where I wanted to drill through in here, where I put the spacers at, those holes that were already existing, those are already like the built-in, I guess, I don't remember what you call them, but they're built in already into the Kayak, and they take a certain size screw, and I'd have to hit like exactly where the hole is. I can't go up through the bottom, which was what I was going to try to do. So I just drilled 2 new holes that were near it, so it'd still take it down next to that. Those pieces of PVC I put in, I put 2 up here to hold at the top, and then eventually I'll cut around the edge here and around the edge here. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to wait because I want to put my board here and make sure they have enough room. Alright, so I've got a new piece of wood. It's going to go on. That'll be what holds it on, and hopefully it will be strong enough. Don't know. I have to give it a test run, of course, to see if it's going to be strong enough to hold. Probably could put some kind of a plate across this. I'll think about that. I may do that. If it doesn't hold. So that'll sit like that. Trolling motor hang off the end over here. Let's see if I can get it all attached. Alright, so here's the semi-finished product. Of course I didn't realize, because I didn't think about it, from where the access hatch is to where I decided to put that bolt, it's too far. I can't reach it. I'd have to cut like an access hole here, and then that would be underneath that anyway, unless I did some other stuff. But anyway, so I just got I had some wide bolts that fit perfectly, that kind of threaded in there. I think that'll hold it temporarily until I can get to the store and get some screws that would hold, that are a little thicker, that will hold in there. But I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm going to set the other motor on it and see how it looks. If it, hopefully it bumps out past the green part. If not, then I've messed up. Let's see what I got. All right, guys, here it is. It's got the trolling motor mounted, plenty of room on the block, everything fits. Post just misses about a ½ an inch or so, so everything's there. It is good to go. Now I'll have to also I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm going to run my wiring. Now I may cut like a section of this out so that I've got access to get where I need to get to. Still haven't decided where I'm putting the battery yet. I've got to find a better way to attach the battery. Well, somewhere down here, either behind the seat. I didn't like it when I had it there before, but I didn't have it very stable, and so it didn't seem to fit well. I've got to find some way to ratchet it down or put a good bracket on it or something. It won't fit inside the well. It's too big to go in there, even though I've got a smaller size battery. But we'll figure something out. I may figure out a way to attach it right here, but it's just a lot of weight in the back. I don't like having that much weight in the back of the boat. I've thought about trying to find a way to put it into the front and somehow connect. I mean, I'm pretty short. My legs don't usually go past here. Sometimes I'll put them up to here if I'm just kind of chilling, but I thought about trying to find a way to attach it here. But I'm going to have my fish finder is probably going to be mounted right here somewhere, and I don't know. We'll figure it out. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you updated on what I'm doing with it, and once I adjust a couple of things, I've got one more thing. Well, not one more. I've got to do my steering controls. I've got to get that figured out and ran all the way up, you know, to the front for pedals, or however I'm going to do that. I haven't decided. I had some other ideas, but I don't know which ones are going to work and which ones won't. So thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all hopefully out on the water.